Playoff, baby. Win to go home.
How great do you want to be? How great do you want to be?
They don't believe we can do it.
Playoff football.
The best ball you got. That's right now. The best ball you got.
On to Russell. Go ahead, Russell. Let's go, boy. Let's go.
Let's go.
He's too good. He's too big. It's playoff football. You need touchdowns, bro.
Right now, let's take the lead.
It is caught. Touchdown. Game, set, match.
And welcome everyone to the shows at the Pros Watch. I'm James Brown. Phil just gave me a pep talk here. After a thrilling wild card weekend, if we may paraphrase a phrase, and it is, you like that. All right.
Boy, that's what he
And you know what? And we did like that. There's no question. Of course, we're talking about Kirk Cousins. We'll get to that a little later in the program. But Brandon, a number of the old quarterbacks went down on wild card weekend. What's the deal with the old quarterbacks?
When's the last time we saw a divisional round without,
Well,
Tom
first off,
Brady?
was he bobbing his head towards
Yeah,
me?
he was.
I saw it out the corner of my eye.
Well, one of the issues is they don't take care of themselves.
But you saw it.
Look at his stomach. Look at his stomach.
No,
his tummy right there.
Phil's got no damn tummy.
He looks good.
He looks good. He looks
Yeah,
good.
well, I mean,
You want me to take my shirt off?
No, I want you to do the pull-up. That's what I
Get
want you to
that bar
do.
in here and I'll
Michael,
eat it.
didn't
Let's
he
go.
say in the
what I
production
want.
meeting this morning, Phil, I thought you were the quarterback guru. I'm disappointed in you. That's exactly what he said.
That's exactly what I said. But here's the reality of it. When you get older, you need help. Phil has this thing about Tom Brady and Phillip Rivers. These guys need help, okay? But I will say this. This is what I learned. This is going to be the best free agent market if you're looking for a quarterback. Have we ever seen? Look at this list of free agent quarterbacks. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Teddy Bridgewater. I even like Eli Manning on this.
Dak Prescott.
Come on.
Michael?
What I learned is interesting because what was the norm is now becoming the anomaly, and what was the anomaly has become the norm. The norm used to be those pocket passes, Phil. That's why we were looking at you.
What are you looking at me for?
Because you were the norm, that old pocket passer. And the anomaly was the running quarterbacks. And now we need yardage run at the quarterback position. And you don't get it from Tom Brady. You don't get it from Drew Brees. And now those guys are gone. And I'm telling you, I'm interested to see, because I don't know what kind of market we will have for Tom Brady.
But Tom Brady isn't gone. You don't
He may not have a market because Dak Prescott's going to have everything.
Well, Dak will get the main market, and that'll be Dallas. Dallas a franchise.
The
He's not going
executive
anywhere.
producer is raising his hand.
But let's talk about that,
The
Phil.
segment's over, so I don't have time.
No, we're going to talk about
Michael, look. The black, what, another funeral for the Cowboys?
Yeah.
It's over.
For my
Don't
coach,
worry about it.
Coach Gary.
Where's
I feel
something
sorry
different?
for him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to find that market. It really is, because you're talking about so many good young quarterbacks around the NFL. There's going to be #1 draft picks coming too. And then Tom Brady playing somewhere else doesn't even seem real. If his best chances to succeed will be in New England, because they'll run the system for him. All of his teammates, everybody adores him, the fans. You go somewhere else, that whole environment changes
Is there
completely.
any other team out of the other 31 that you think might be a good fit for Tom Brady?
A good fit, maybe the Los Angeles Chargers, maybe. That's one, because I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. He has to go with Josh McDaniels.
Well, you'd like to.
Right, because you got, wherever he goes, he has to take his system with him. He can't just go and fit into any kind of system.
Let me tell you what I learned real quick. It was the best wild card weekend I've ever watched.
Yeah, it was good.
I thought it was
good
tremendous.
football.
It was great. The 4 best rushing teams still in the playoffs. The 4 best passing teams out. The 4 best rushing teams, of course, who are they? It's the Baltimore Ravens,
San
Francisco,
Tennessee,
Seattle. Thank you, Michael. So those are some things I learned this weekend. And
2 #6 seeds advanced, making it even more competitive. Go ahead. Real
JB,
quick.
I think we have some time.
Go ahead.
You've been saying this for years, Phil.
Which is?
I'm going to take my shirt off. I mean, I've been on this show at least 5 years.
And he said that. Look how he
Let's
looked
do
at
it
the
then.
camera and
You
smiled.
can't. No, how when you gonna take off your shirt? You gonna do it?
Wait. It was blind to everybody.
Hey, in the background, Ellen McGlynn said, "Don't do it, Phil. Time for what we do
I gotta get a
best.
spray tan first.
We kick off our supersized wild card weekend highlights with the first game of the playoffs. Here's J.J. Watt mic'd up in his return for the Houston Texans and their overtime thriller against the Buffalo Bills.
Brandon, you said I had a damn belly.
Let us see.
Welcome to NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. They say everything's bigger in Texas. This one's pretty big.
It's go time now. Ain't no more talking.
Don't let this one be the last one, huh?
Buffalo was hoping to capture their first playoff win since 1995. Their road to redemption ran through Houston.
How great do you want to be? Today you show me how great you want to be. 20 teams are at home. 12 are in this tournament. Every single play, every single rep, you run as hard as you can. How great do you want to be? Let's go. Greatness on 3. 1, 2, 3, greatness.
Just underway. Allen takes it, going to run it himself. Gets a couple of blocks.
Allen on the run, so dangerous.
Josh Allen and the Bills were off and running on their opening drive.
Big pickup there for Josh. What a great play that was.
What a run.
Monster. A grown man right there.
The snap. And it is a pass coming up here. John Brown going to throw it back to Josh Allen. He's open. Touchdown. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What a play that was.
Throwback to your quarterback from a wide receiver, John Brown.
The Bills score first, and they score in spectacular fashion. They lead it 7-0.
They're trying to use smoke and mirrors on us. Play our keys. Read your keys.
Let's go, defense! Let's go!
Deshaun Watson was under pressure the entire game. He was sacked 7 times, and the Texans were held scoreless for the first 43 minutes.
That's exactly what we talked about. Great execution. Great execution. We got to juice this place up. Come on. We got to get the juice. Let's go. We need to play.
13-0 deficit, and you're really up against it here.
I can't express the importance of not allowing Buffalo in the end zone.
3rd down and 8 at the Houston 12.
Let's go!
J.J. Watt, and the crowd erupts.
Loud when he's giving you the play. Huh? Loud when he's giving you the play. Good. Hey, just keep getting us to the right stuff, all right? Put a drive together. Let's put some points on the board.
Keeper, right side, Watson. Watson cutting inside. Still going down to the goal line. Touchdown!
Let's go! Let's go! Yes! Let's go!
And they're going to go for 2. Watson carrying to the right side. Watson trying for the goal line. He's got the pylon. He's in. Texans down 16-8.
Now it's fun. Let's go. Now it's fun.
Let's do this thing. Let's go.
Watson rolling to the right. Dumps it off. Hyde walks across. They've come all the way back.
Down 16-0.
Goes over the middle. He's got Nuke for 2.
The 2-point conversion gave Houston a 3-point lead, but a Bills field goal would tie the game and send it to overtime.
right. Go win us a football game. Let's go.
In overtime, the game was decided by one play and one man.
Set!
Watson throws it to Jones, down to the 10-yard line. What a play! The magician does it again. The Texans in field goal range, and Watson, another amazing play. We just saw one of the greatest plays in the history of this franchise. Deshaun Watson escaping a sack and find Taiwan Jones for an amazing catch and run to get the Texans down to the 10.
How about the run after the catch by Taiwan Jones?
That's how you be great, brother. Great job.
This is going to be a 28-yard field goal for the victory. Kick is up. And it's good!
Can't believe Deshaun.
I knew he was going to do something like that. Just happened to be in overtime. Yeah, I'm shutting down, man. Yeah. 15, man. Appreciate you, bro.
I love playing with you. Great guy, great player.
You got what it takes, okay? Right, you were one of 8 teams left. That's a great job, guys. Great job.
Hey, no question about it. It was incredible in terms of that victory. Buffalo was up 16-0. I thought they had that game. And then, of course, later on in the night, Tennessee upends New England. Reactions to the first week.
Well, my first reaction, did you see Bill O'Brien when Deshaun Watson came in? My man. I can coach. Yeah, that's it. My job is secure as long as he's here. But Deshaun Watson, it's this. Every play is the last play of the game. So I'm watching the game. Oh, another sack. You didn't have to take it. 7 sacks by Buffalo. They've played Deshaun Watson twice in the last 2 years. They have sacked him 14 times.
That's right.
But you know, when it's all said and done, you live with it. Why? Because he pulls so many games out. But I'll tell you this, too. He also stood in the pocket and made some throws to the sideline. And, I mean, he went off the screen. He got hit so hard. So I was impressed with that. A couple things about Buffalo. One, Josh Allen, he's the man. I don't want to hear that.
Hold on. He's the man. Why are the folks in Buffalo saying he's not the man?
He can't play. Because they're reacting after the loss. They're emotional. Josh Allen played great towards the end. It did change a little bit so that, you know,
they made some bad decisions, Phil. He made some bad decisions to some things in a tough situation, but he needs a few more players around him, too.
He needs playmakers.
I think he needs a big receiver, you know, to go with Brown as a receiver, because Brown's a good receiver, but you need to give him a big target with a big area code. And watching Houston, though, I thought, it's just,
what did you call them, Superman plays?
Well, it's just so many Superman plays. And even in that game, and without Will Fuller, they have to find a way to get easier first downs, easier touchdowns, easier points on the board.
For 3.5 quarters, they stunk. They didn't play well. They stunk, right? Deshaun Watson, you talked about it. The play that we're cheering, that may be a staple play for him when it's all said and done. It's a play where he should have got the ball out quick. You got 2 free rushers coming. You need your quarterback to make that decision in a split moment like that to get it to the hot guy. That right there gets you beat.
But my last comment about the game, Houston has 3rd and 18. And Buffalo, which their defense kind of carried them the whole year. It's very good defense. They play so safe that he throws it from me to Mike to Duke Johnson, I think it was, and he ran for a first down. That was huge in the game.
So, you know, what's interesting about Watson, sacked 7 times, as he mentioned that one, 5 times in his career. He's been sacked 6 times or more, and they're all victories. But let's go to New England. Tennessee at New England. 2 words, Derrick Henry.
That's a man. I'm talking about, that was a physical football game. And give credit to Vrabel. He had that team ready. He talked about, and I love watching even in the post interviews where the guys were joking about the banners. And he said, one guy said, you looked up at the banners. He said, we're not supposed to look at the banners. That told me, did you see that?
Yes.
That told me Vrabel had already prepared them. Don't get caught with all that stuff. Just focus on being physical, and they did not give up any easy game. They didn't give up any easy turnovers. They made New England go to field, and they couldn't drive the field. That was a great game.
I love the reaction. That's great. You know, Monday morning quarterbacks. Who'd you pick?
Huh?
Who'd you pick? Huh?
I took New England.
You took New England. Who'd you pick?
No, they ain't got nothing to do with the price of tomatoes.
That has everything to do with it.
Who'd you pick?
I picked Tennessee.
Right.
I picked Tennessee.
But I knew that was a good possibility.
Because of defense.
Yeah.
Defense. If Ray Lewis, our guy who's in Hawaii somewhere, I don't know where Ray is.
Chilling on the
beach. What are you doing, Ray? But if Ray Lewis was here right now, you know what he'd be saying?
Over this.
Defense, defense. That's why I picked him. And you got a struggling New England team who have a banged-up Sanu, a banged-up Edelman. Yeah. Of course, going against this team, I don't care where it's at, Tennessee was going to win.
But it was very close. The score was 14-13. All we needed was one kill, whatever. But I want to go back to this. Derrick Henry running the football. I was really shocked because New England, Bill Belichick in his history, he does not let teams run against him. But the offensive line, here's one play. Outside zone, which they love, and you got to make business decisions in life. And J.C. Jackson said, I'm going to make a business decision here. I want to play for another play.
That's the play I saw, too.
But here we go.
God,
Listen to this. Tennessee's offensive line, and mainly Roger Saffold, the left guard, they're very good run blockers. He had an unbelievable game, pancake guys to the ground. But what they do is they kind of go sideways. So think of it this way. So the defense is going sideways with you, okay? And now they got power, too, on the offensive line. Then you have this big dude coming, and you're going sideways, and he hits you. How many times did he hit defenders and fall forward and break tackles? Had to be a record.
As we go back to that other game, Tennessee, Derrick Henry treats defensive backs like speed bumps.
Yes.
I mean,
grown men
doing
like little kids.
The thing about him,
that's what
JB,
Go ahead.
he is a running back in his, what year is this him? For him, I don't know, 4 or 5. He's getting better.
He is getting better.
Yes. Which is unheard of.
Hey, folks, let's get back to the Wild Card Weekend highlights. It's the game that we've just been talking about. The one has the entire country asking, is this the end of the dynasty? Tennessee toppling New England. Henry. Woo! Henry.
When the playoff festivities start, it doesn't much matter what you wear. Just show up at the correct place and time, ready and willing to party.
The best ball you got! The best ball you got! We don't leave nothing out there! You better leave this field drain! Everybody, leave this field drain! Let's go!
Tom Brady, of course, the uncertainty about his future this week, very relaxed.
Lead us, 12.
No matter how much he thinks this could be my last game, that's not going to help him play football here tonight. He's been in too many games to know. Just go out and play. Worry about that stuff after.
He throws to the near side for Benjamin Watson, who makes the catch.
In your face. What a throw by Brady.
The defending champions scored first. The upstart Titans were unfazed.
Tannehill, under pressure, fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Titans! Berkshire, all alone! Let's go! Got to answer! Got to answer!
Now Edelman sprints in motion to the right, takes the handoff. It's a jet sweep. He's going to get to the end zone. Touchdown, New England!
Big boy counter drive.
The Patriots looked to extend their lead. They had first and goal at the Titans 1.
Let's go, we got to get this.
Inside the 1, first and goal to go.
Give it to Michelle on the left side. He is hit and decked by Evans. Brady gives it to Burkhead running to the left, and he is stacked up. Brady gives it to Michelle on the left side. Evans gets him again.
That's a huge win on that series for the Titans defense.
The Titans pride themselves in being a physical team. Against the Patriots, 6'3", 247-pound running back Derrick Henry led the way.
He's too good. He's too good. He's too big. He's too big.
The Titans drove 75 yards in less than 2 minutes. Henry gained all 75. He finished with 204, 182 on the ground, the most ever allowed by New England in the playoffs during the Belichick era.
Give Henry second effort. Henry, touchdown, Titans!
Not too many 2-minute run drives you see in the NFL. Hey, you stop him the rest of the night, we're gonna win this game. Great job, man! Great job! Tonight we're gonna win this game.
Hey, that was a physical-ass drive. Keep it like that all game. They don't want no parts of this.
Gotta get our hands on the blockers and play with hands. Like, I don't know what we're doing here, but we're not doing that.
Think about this, guys. We shut them out the second half, we win regardless. Hey, let's go 98. Whatever it is, 97, 6, 94. Huh? So I don't add. Can't read, can't write, can't do math. But I can compete. Let's go, boys.
Brady and company had been in this position countless times. Game on the line, backs against the wall.
12 minutes of good football. That's it. Hey, 12 minutes. 12 minutes of good football. Let's go.
In what may have been his last game as a Patriot, the greatest of all time had one more chance to play hero. The usual throws that made Brady a champion weren't working. Time was running out in the game, and perhaps an era.
2 minutes to be great. Hey, 2 minutes to be great. Let's get it.
We're gonna need one more. Hey, we're gonna need one more out there. We're gonna need one more. One more series. One more.
We're gonna have to put one up in the air. We're gonna have to go up and make a catch. All right. So we get position. I'm gonna give you a shot to go up and make a play. All right.
15 seconds to go. We don't know if they're the final 15 seconds in the Patriots' career of Tom Brady. But as he stands in the end zone out of the gun, this crowd letting him know how they feel.
Tom Brady from his own one fires pass, batted up in the air, intercepted, and returned for a touchdown, Titans!
A pick six. Was that fitting? To end it.
The Tennessee Titans have come into what Mike Vrabel referred to as the Viper's Den, and they have knocked out the champions.
Hey, let's go home. Let's go home. Hey, let's go home. Let's go home, guys. Let's go home.
The future unclear for Tom Brady and so many other veteran Patriots. The certainty only that the Pat season has come to a close.
Call 6-seeded Tennessee party crashers. They won't give a hoot. The Titans are already on to Baltimore.
We want more. Let's go. We want more. I appreciate it. We want more. We want more.
Wow, so Derrick Henry says they want more. They're going to get more. Tennessee by virtue of that victory. And let's give them credit. They travel now to take on Baltimore and Mr. Lamar Jackson and company. That will be on Saturday night. And, folks, on Sunday, it's the Texans with Superman Watson. Tennessee Ravens first. Talk about it.
Yeah, the Baltimore Ravens are the biggest team in the NFL. And when they take all the big guys out, you know who they put back in? More big guys. So
what do you like to call them? Tush?
Tush hogs. Tush hogs, man. You got to have two big tush hogs in the middle to stop it so guys like Ray Lewis can get all the tackles.
Right.
But that's going to be, this is a whole different game for the Tennessee Titans. They're not going to dominate the line of scrimmage like they did against New England.
It is so hard to play a physical game like Tennessee played. They played a physical game in beating New England and then turn around and play another physical football team that's fresh and produce. It is so hard. Phil, you're absolutely right. Running the ball against the Ravens.
Hard? It's not hard.
Oh, my God, your body.
No, it's not hard. Let me tell you why it's not hard.
No, it wears on
let me tell you why this is not hard. Because they've been doing it all year. They've been doing it all year. If you like classic football, this is the game to watch this weekend. Their number 1 and number 3 rushing offenses is in this game.
Yes.
Right.
2 of the best defenses are in this game.
Right.
They're used to this. This is their formula. This is how they played all year.
Yeah, but this team that they're playing now is a team that's physical. You just talked about it. Physical and running the ball. You just talked about it. So they're going to be fighting to keep the ball out of their hands, too, on time of possession. With Lamar Jackson, if Mark Ingram is healthy, Mark Ingram has to be healthy.
Big if.
That's a big if in this game.
Yeah.
And A.J. Brown has to show up and get down. He didn't do anything in New England. He has to show up.
New England locked the Tennessee receivers down.
Locked them down.
They've got to find a way. They're a downfield throwing team to get it done. But listen, for a couple things. One, Gus Edwards, I know he's not Mark Ingram, but he's close. Then they got a little speed guy, Justice Hill, too, they can run the football. But Tennessee Titans have never seen an offense like this. So this is different. And Lamar Jackson, he might look fast on film.
Right.
And of course, I never played over
Faster.
But when you see him in person, you go, oh, my God.
Okay, so check this out. Now, before I ask you guys who you're picking, I know you're leaning. Brandon deserves some credit. Take a look at the pick standings.
Yes.
Brandon, narrate. Who's in the lead, Brandon?
I mean, it's right there. I mean, numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie. Brandon's in first.
Numbers don't lie. One day you guys will listen to me. Okay, for the Tennessee Titans to win this game, they have to do this. They have to start extremely fast because Baltimore starts fast.
Right, no question.
They're one of the fast starting teams in the NFL. They have
Are you taking Tennessee?
No, I'm taking Baltimore.
Brandon goes down that road.
Right.
Go ahead.
I feel.
Will you make up ground in this one with this selection?
No, I'm taking Baltimore because there's other games. We still got time. I'm not worried.
You have time.
It's just still
You have
fourth
time.
quarter. I had a lot of fourth quarter comebacks, so don't worry about it. I gotta say, but there's a linebacker. I got to give him credit, and I didn't do it in the opening. Rashaan Evans for the Tennessee Titans, second-year guy from Alabama, made that goal line stand.
Yes.
That was the difference, maybe. One of the differences in the game for them to get there. He was fantastic, involved in 3 runs, stopped New England, whatever. Just wanted to give him some props.
While we're here, swing now to the Texans at the Chiefs. Your thoughts?
Well, I think the Texans are going to see a different team that they beat early in the year. 2 things. The defensive front for the Kansas City Chiefs is better. They're more disciplined. They got more guys up there.
Right.
Chris Jones is healthy. Derek Nottie, passing yawn, a guy that's really come on for him big time. They're better. Patrick Mahomes, everybody was taking away the deep passes. And it really was hurting Kansas City's offense, so they adapted. Wow.
But now it's helping.
What a great thing to do.
I'm with you on
now
this
they're
field.
throwing it underneath.
Now it's helping.
And they're kind of controlling the ball,
Right.
taking the pressure off the offensive line. The last thing is, nobody, watch the game this weekend, takes a deeper drop than Patrick Mahomes. He goes about 12, 13 yards back there, so he sees you coming, he just dodges you.
Listen, the Texans, they have to go in and find a run game. They have to find a run game. We've already talked about it. The Chiefs can make big plays. The Texans have the ability to make big plays, but those guys are always hurt. They had 141 yards rushing last week. But 55 of those yards belong to the quarterback.
Right.
That's the watch. So that leaves you, 86 yards rushing. You got to be able to run this football and keep Patrick Mahomes off the football field to move that ball down the football field.
You're right. If the Texans want to win this game, it's super simple. They got to run the ball, but it has to come from Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson has to have his biggest game of his life if they want to go in there and win.
So with that in mind, does anybody have the courage to take the Houston Texans in this game?
You're down. You need to.
Well, you're
just not doing it. I just ain't going to do it.
Brandon?
No, I'm going with the Chiefs.
I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs, too. Yes. The week off, Andy Reid, the readjustments. And Andy Reid is great.
Another point.
He always comes up with new plays. He's had 2 weeks.
You're running out of time.
Another great
Well,
point.
see, Brandon just said you're running out of time, but you said be calm. It's going to happen.
Anytime, man, 2-minute warning comes, I turn it on.
Hey, Michael Irvin said, I got the courage, but I'm just not picking it. Hey, folks, back to the highlights and another wild card, overtime thriller. Kirk Cousins, how you like me now? And the Vikings pulling off the upset against Drew Brees. And
you like that? You like that?
Quite honestly, for this team with the expectations, anything short of going to Miami is a massive disappointment. When you look at the Saints, I don't know that there's been a better offense in football.
Come on, baby. We got one chance, and that's right now. Go out there and be you. We the better team. I know we are.
So let's go get it.
For the first 3 quarters, the Saints' potent offense was limited to just 10 points. Minnesota controlled the clock and the game.
Hey, it's our chance to take over. Right now, let's take the lead. Let's take the lead.
Hand off Dalvin, up the middle, it's easy, and he's in the end zone. Yes, he is. An effortless touchdown by Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, it's like I need another one, huh?
Yeah. Hey.
Second down and goal from the 1. Handoff goes to Dalvin Cook. He's hit, no signal. They're going to mark him down. And now a touchdown signal.
No!
Yes. Touchdown!
No!
That was an unbelievable hit by Mario Davis.
Dalvin Cook, second rushing touchdown.
The Minnesota Vikings take a 20-10 lead.
Early in the 4th quarter, the NFL's all-time leader in touchdown passes threw his first of the game.
Towards the end zone. Touchdown! Taysom Hill! And that is exactly what this offense needed.
Down 20-17 in the final minutes, New Orleans was driving to take the lead.
He's back to pass. Oh, Root dropped it. Get it, Vikings, come on. It's a fumble, and yeah, it's ball. Yes, we got that ball.
The Saints committed just 8 turnovers all season, the fewest by any team in NFL history. Yet they had 2 on Sunday. When they got the ball back, they still trailed by 3. Drew Brees drove them into position to tie the game in the final seconds.
Here we go. 49-yard drive. What? To tie the game. The kick is up. Oh, and it is good. Will Lutz just nailed it. Oh, my God.
We are headed to overtime.
Let's end this fast.
Go, baby. Take away. Take away. Take away. Take away. Playoff football, baby. Play the game. Welcome to the playoffs, baby. All right, baby, go lead us. Have some fun now.
Kirk Cousins had heard all the noise before. He couldn't win a big game in a big moment. Overtime was a chance to silence the noise.
Play action for Kirk from under center, straight drop. Kirk trying to win it to Thielen, caught at the 5. Cousins, Thielen, yes, Kirk. First and goal, Vikings from the 2.
Hey, let's go. Every blade of grass. Nobody drop your heads. This is our move. Let's go.
Third and goal from the 4. Kirk takes the snap, looks right, fade left, end zone, and it is caught! Touchdown! Amazing decision by Kirk Cousins. He saw the all-out blitz. He knew he had Rudolph one-on-one with the corner. Rudy! And just threw the jump ball. What a beautiful throw.
And it is a push-off, and this could be a booth review.
They got to review the touchdown.
It's reviewable. He did get pushed. That's a full extension with the right arm by Kyle Rudolph.
Movement on the field has been confirmed. It is a touchdown. The game is over.
Wow. What a way to end your season. I mean, I don't know if you can find the correct words to be able to describe what we just saw, how it ended.
For the 3rd straight year, the Saints were knocked out of the playoffs on the final play of the game. This time, by a quarterback who earned his first postseason win.
That's one.
sir.
That's one.
Way to run the ball, baby.
That's one.
Bonjour, San Francisco, and au revoir, New Orleans Saints.
That was a hell of a win, fellas. That's a hell of a win. Number 8.
That's how we've won all year, team, right? Hey, you held them to 20 points, man. You gave us a chance at the end, but I got 3 words for you. You like that?
Hey, look, the answer to that question, do you like that, is a resounding yes by anybody.
Yeah.
Playoff caliber throws by Kirk Cousins, I believe. Phil will talk about that in a minute. But talk about the Vikings, and especially whether or not you two receivers are okay with no call.
Yeah, I was okay with that.
Before you go to that, who's been saying it all year? Kirk Cousins, MVP. I've been saying it all year.
You know what? You did.
I've been saying it all year. What do you expect? And this is that game that everybody's been wanting to see from Kirk Cousins.
Why were you so confident all season long about him in that regard?
Something special about the kid, and everybody's looking at Kirk Cousins, and it's just everything's on the quarterback. It's on the quarterback, but you need wide receivers, you need offensive line.
And everybody was waiting on this moment, because no matter what he did in the regular season, everybody was waiting on him to turning up in the playoffs. Go back to that. I thought it was the right call because what he did was extended. Now, there's a difference between extending because we're all feeling each other out.
Take a look at it, Michael.
That's why.
Now watch the defender when his head goes back. No push there.
That could easily be pass interference on a defender. Before the ball's in the air, he's touching on him.
Yeah, but he's flicking.
This is a great no call. When you get into playoff basketball, playoff football, you let the guys play.
It was a great game by the Minnesota Vikings in so many ways. Strategic, Kirk Cousins. But, man, when Dalvin Cook's back there.
Ooh, it's a whole different game.
That's I don't know how fast he is, but he looks faster than everybody else.
Yeah.
And he's the opposite. Derrick Henry swerves into the hole. Dalvin Cook is, whoa! He's a whole different style of runner. So that really sets up Kirk Cousins.
And Gary Kubiak has done a great job.
He did a great job
in setting up that run.
Because if he had to drop back, they're just not good enough, I don't think, with their offensive line to block the pass rush all the time. So they need their running game to help them. And the other big adjustment in that game was Mike Zimmer. Give him a lot of credit.
Oh, putting them boys on the inside, those 2 DNs.
Taking your 2 best pass rushers and bringing them inside.
Dude, that was brilliant, man.
There is no way. There's no way that New Orleans, because they've never seen it.
And he put them on their worst blockers. Well, he put them on worst blockers.
Well, yeah, Michael, here's what it is. You know, one, it's usually 2 linebackers or DBs in there, and linemen are going, oh, I'll just knock your little butt out of the way.
Right.
But these were big men, so that called them back. And they're great edge rushers. So there's no way New Orleans was ready for that. And Drew Brees, their whole thing is keep the front of him clean so he can see and move the throw.
Before we go to the next game, JB, I think we got to touch on New Orleans.
Sure.
2 years in a row. Yeah. Come on, man, this is a Super Bowl team. This is a Super Bowl team. How do we not win? And I got a few things that I wrote down. Coach Payton overthinks. That's point blank, period. He thinks he's the smartest man in football, and that's an issue they need to fix if they want to get over this hump. No deep ball stretch. How many times is Drew Brees missing the deep ball? I know he's great. I know the offense, it looks like they have everything. But I truly believe they do a great job of patching their challenges up. That loss of Ingram, that hurt them, okay?
Yeah,
and
that's a big deal.
Yeah.
They got away from the things that made Alvin Kamara 8K.
Right. Give him the ball out the backfield, throwing him the ball.
Come on, how's the New Orleans Saints going home right now?
And if you include the Minneapolis Miracle,
the last
that makes it 3. Hey, real quickly, so we have time.
Go ahead.
Why did you think Seattle, Philadelphia was so compelling to you?
Well, compelling, it was ugly. I don't know.
But ugly
first
can be good.
I really felt bad that Carson Wentz got knocked out of the game. In Philadelphia, they could have stood up there with their defensive line and stopped the run all day, which they did against Seattle. Why would you blitz when you're controlling up front? And some of those blitzes really hurt the Philadelphia defense, and then Russell Wilson, many reasons, but Russell Wilson, once again, was a big difference.
What made it compelling to me is you saw the storyline. I felt so bad for Carson Wentz, man, after fighting the last month of the season with that group of guys to get his team there, and then having to go out on a concussion, and God hope he's okay and everything. But I felt so badly for him. And then Russell Wilson on the other side. He's lost 80% of his rush game, 80% of his rush game, and he takes that second rounder and DK Metcalf and say, well, I'll beat you through the air, because we stopped giving Russell credit for being able to take a team because he has such a great run game, but Russell Wilson, one of the guys that can take a team.
What makes Seattle dangerous, that game opened my eyes a little bit this way. They couldn't run the ball at all except for Russell, but they threw it. And now you got to worry about both. Makes them dangerous.
Russell is steady and consistent. You wide receivers like the beast that is DK Metcalf?
Yeah, I like
I
sign off. Hey, boy, the heck with him. They quarterbacks like more games in college with him and A.J. Brown. I don't know what they were doing. They had him and A.J. Brown. I don't know what they should have won more games in school.
Back to the highlights and the aforementioned Carson Wentz Russell Wilson showdown, but it didn't work out that way. Here's a mic'd up Russell Wilson leading the Seahawks into Philadelphia.
Welcome to Philly as the Seahawks come a-calling on the Philadelphia Eagles in this wild card matchup. We were here just a few weeks ago. The Seahawks won 17-9.
I've been on the East Coast once or twice before. Feels like home. We in to go home. We ain't in to going home mode.
The last 4 Eagles games have had a playoff feel, but today we have the real thing.
It's going to take those boys to go out there and dominate this game. Let's go out there and lead, no doubt.
Hey, you gotta love this, huh? You gotta love this, huh?
Let's give them a show, huh? Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go, man. Be disruptive, man. Let's go. You know I'm going to do this. Hey, this game's all about opportunities. When we get them, we got to capitalize on them. Game-altering plays, gap plays. We got to hit them, okay? When we get momentum, let's go. Let's bring the momentum ourselves. Don't wait for it. Go get it.
Philly's Boo Birds were silenced by the most dynamic bird on the field, Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson.
Got a lot of wide open field, midfield, 40, 35, slides down.
I don't know if there's a better quarterback in making plays on the move than Russell Wilson.
Early on, that movement gained yards, but not points.
Spotted, hit, and it's blocked. The Eagles are going to take over the football.
The city's excitement at finally seeing Carson Wentz in his first playoff game was short-lived.
Starts to run, cuts back, and only gets to the line of scrimmage.
I saw Carson get hit hard as he was going down. He has now gone to the locker room.
Hey, they said QB leaving the field. Carson? Leaving the field. He got hit on the last third down.
Their backup quarterback starting to warm up on the near sideline.
You loose? I'm loose. 2 forward, 2 forward, 1 back, and let's go. Let's go. If I call you Carson in the headset, I'm sorry. It's okay. I won't hold it against you. Carson. Let's do it.
His name is Josh McCown, and Seattle's defense was all too happy to welcome the 40-year-old journeyman to his playoff debut. He was sacked 6 times.
Nice job, nice job. No touchdowns, baby. Let's get 2-4 going. Let's get 2-4 going.
One more shot in the game. What up, little beast mode? I'm big beast mode.
The first touchdown of the game was beastly.
Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. He takes a hand up. He stops. He comes back inside. Run him over. He's in for a touchdown. Yeah! He was stopped at the 1, spun out of a tackle, and kept those legs driving from 5 yards out. And beast mode helped the Seahawks extend the lead.
Hey! We back in the playoffs, baby. I see you. I see you, big dog. There you go, man. Good job, fellas. Good job. It's just creating space for me, man. Those guys are wide open. Our guys running around those area. All the stuff that's working is me faking it and play actioning over here. They're covering the run so hard. Look at all these holes, man. This is really what the game is right here. All the big plays are right in this.
Number 3's #1 target was DK Metcalf.
Bomb it, Russell. Throw it, Russell.
His 160 playoff receiving yards were the most by a rookie in the Super Bowl era.
He is in for a touchdown! What a play by the rookie DK Metcalf. Makes a diving catch, hits the ground, gets back up, and then drags a defender to the end zone.
We sending a message. Let me go. Let's go. I got you. I got you. Let's get it.
Oh, I tell you about these rookies, man.
We got to score, baby.
We good. They don't get in.
Let's go now. Let's go.
Trailing by 8, the Eagles went for it on 4th down twice in the final 6 minutes.
Everything come down to this 4th and 3rd. You got to put him away now. You got to put him away. I see you, Clowney. I see you, boy.
Here comes the rush. McCown steps up. He gets in. He goes down. Clowney gets to him.
Hey, let me get your eyes. Let me get your eyes. That's what's going to win the game. We got to be right. 1 first down, O. Give me a first down, O.
Who would Seattle go to? Don't say IDK.
He makes the catch near midfield.
Game. Game, set, match. Let's go. Hey, you good. You good.
Hey, great job. Congratulations. Possibly have all that situation. Thanks a lot. Hey, good luck next week.
That hurt. Got to stand tall through it all, though. Next year, we'll be here before you know it. Hang on. Hey, great job, fellas. Enjoy this thing. Hey, we got a lot of work to do. We're going somewhere, man. We're going somewhere. Let's go. Hawks on 3. Hawks on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hawks!
So you know what, and Michael, I'm listening to you comment about what you saw with McCown there saying.
Yeah, and that was emotional watching him, you know, after playing so long. And, you know, of course, he was coaching, and they brought him back to have that opportunity to play in the playoff. Brandon, I know we mess with you a lot about it and everything, but just for the people out there, you play your whole life waiting on that moment and hoping for that moment. And he got an opportunity, and he played well.
I thought he
played
did
well. He played
as good
well
as he
in
could
that
do.
moment,
Backup
man.
quarterback.
Right. He played well in that
Thrust
moment.
into the game. He threw the ball well.
Yeah, I was emotionally even watching him after the game. He was crying, man. It was good. It was
So here we are. We're set now. Vikings will be at the Niners. Niners, the #1 seed now. And, of course, Seahawks at the Packers. But let's talk first about the Vikings at the Niners.
Yeah, Vikings at the Niners. Well, you know, listen, the San Francisco 49ers, what you got to worry about, they do have a good pass-blocking offensive line. They can run the football. Kyle Shanahan is, I think, the best when it comes to getting new plays ready for his offense against your defense and springing guys wide open to make those plays. So that's just one thing to look for in that game.
Yeah, we'll talk a lot about Kirk Cousins because each week, I mean, he passed one test. Yeah, you got, now here it comes again. Each week we'll put it on him. But Dalvin Cook is going to be the key. If you can run the football against this front, against that defensive line of the San Francisco 49ers, you give them a chance. Now, they only ranked 23rd against the run, but, boy, everywhere else on that defense, it's a stacked defense. They got to attack that weakness in the run game.
Oh, man, I want to root for the Vikings and Kirk so bad, but that defensive front for the San Francisco 49ers, they're just going to dominate the entire game. The Vikings have no chance.
Well,
They have no chance. They have no chance.
Here's why I say the Vikings have a chance now, because, you know, and we were joking with this earlier back in the room, you and I, JB, when I watched Stephon Diggs go off on the sideline. He only had 3 targets. They had 9 targets at Adam Thielen. I said, you know, calm down, the playoff game. But 9-3, I'm kind of with you. Go ahead, don't act you know what I'm saying? 9-3. But they have an ability to attack you with both wide receivers. They have the ability to attack you with both wide receivers.
So the rules of the show, for Pete Radovich, you're in the top spot, you select. Who do you like in that game?
I know what I'm talking about anyway, so I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers. Go with the San Francisco.
Yeah, George Kittle, man, I got to just throw his name out. I know you mentioned it, but, boy, what an incredible player that dude is. I'm taking the 49ers, too, and Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, 2 weeks off, I'm taking the 49ers.
All righty.
You got to make up ground. What are you doing?
Plenty of time.
Seahawks, Packers.
Oh, man, in this game here, I believe this game can go either way. But, boy, I'm still leaning right now towards Green Bay, but they got to find some offense.
This matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the Packers, man, it's epic. They've always had epic matchups, right? And I really like Seattle in this one because of Russell Wilson. And to your point, he lost 80% of his run game. But this guy can throw it, and this guy can make plays. He is what Deshaun Watson's supposed to be in big moments.
Right. So you're taking him? Is that what you're saying?
I'm taking Seattle. I'm changing it. Scotty, Vinny, change my pick. I originally picked Green Bay. I'm going to Seattle.
Scotty, who else you want to throw
Pete
this would have been an easy pick for me a couple weeks ago, but the way Green Bay played against Minnesota, like, caught me off guard. They physically dominated Minnesota. Where I thought that was a surefire, because I wasn't a big Green Bay fan. But Seattle has shown us they can do it both ways, which is important. Jadeveon Clowney, he might not get any stats, but he's a game wrecker. I like Seattle.
Wow.
Yeah, what? What are you doing? When are you going to?
I'm taking Green Bay, but I'm going to need those Smith boys to play like they played against Minnesota and take over that football game. That's the only way
which they could against this offensive line
against Seattle.
So, from the playoffs, we turn to the coaching carousel, and I guess for the most part, it was a relatively quiet Black Monday, if you will, last week. But the coaching carousel has been moving quickly this week. Take a look. 5 NFL coaches found themselves out of a job this season, and after an 0-5 start, Jay Gruden was the first to go, while Ron Rivera, Pat Shurmur, Freddie Kitchens, and Jason Garrett all received pink slips this year as well. The nation's capital gambled on Riverboat Ron to take over for the Burgundy and Gold. Earlier this week, former Super Bowl winning coach Mike McCarthy was named to take over Jerry Jones's Dallas Cowboys. Earlier today, the Panthers named Baylor's Matt Rule to lead in Carolina. And for the Giants, here comes the judge. New England's special teams and receivers coach Joe Judge takes the reins in the Meadowlands. Now, the jury is still out in Cleveland, as the Browns' head coaching position is the only spot yet to be filled. And we're now joined, I love the way Pete Radovich said it, that she is our inside conscious. That will be Judy Batista, the senior writer from NFL.com, and our insider for sure. And at the time that we're taping this, the only coaching vacancy is Cleveland right now. One person of color, Ron Rivera, hired. If you look at this, Judy, I mean, over the last 3 years, it's not been a great track record, and the Rooney Rule has been in place since 2003. It's trending in the wrong direction. Why is it not being embraced, the Rooney Rule, as serious for candidates of color who certainly can do the job?
Yeah, in the last 3 years, if Ron Rivera is the only minority coach hired in this cycle, that would mean that there is just one for each of the last 3 years. So 3 minority coaches hired in the last 3 years. Steve Wilkes was fired after 1 year. That would mean going into the 2020 season, there would be just 4 minority head coaches. That's not good. That is a bad, bad trend for the NFL. At one point, there were 8 minority head coaches. So for a while there, it looked like it was gaining traction. It certainly seems to not have traction right now. The rule mandates that they have to interview a minority candidate. It doesn't mandate who they have to hire.
What is it saying about ownership? Because the league has done its part in terms of trying to enforce the rule, but it's an ownership decision.
Yeah, I think they have to get to owners, and I think one thing they probably need to work on is getting more minority candidates into the pipeline and emphasizing to owners that they probably need to interview more than just one minority candidate. Well, all kinds of studies have shown that when you have more than one candidate in, that increases the chances of them getting hired. And I'm going to let Brandon
get in here, but let me just throw this last piece in there. To the degree that there are some folks who've had an opportunity before, the indelicate word is retreads. But you know what? You look at a Jim Caldwell, you know, not a bad background. Leslie Frazier, not a bad background. Marvin Lewis, I know he was in the pipeline as well, too. It just is frustrating to a number of people that there isn't a real serious and critical look at these guys as well.
Well, and if you don't want to use the word retreads, Eric Bieniemy is operating the most exciting offense in Kansas City, and unless he gets the job in Cleveland, is going to be out of luck again this year.
I'm just going to use some strong words here just to, like, drive the point here. The owners don't know what the hell they're doing. It's simple. They're so smart as businessmen. They're worth billions of dollars because they put the right people in place. And I'm not saying that, you know, it shouldn't be a black or white thing, but one of the things I look at is our game is made up of 80% blacks, right? These are the players. Some of the best players are black, right? and I'm not trying to go down this whole racial thing, but if our game is, if it looks like that at that level, why doesn't it come close to looking like that at the next level? Head coaches, general managers, presidents, athletic trainers, right? And I look at it from a business perspective, it's about leadership. How do I lead a group of men that don't look like me, don't sound like me, don't talk like me? As a player, I respect all my coaches. Coach Tony Sperano, Bill Parcells, he brought me down to Miami. Love them to death. They're family to me, my uncles. But at the same time, Todd Bowles was able to say, Brandon, listen, you don't act like this. You don't talk like this, right? Why are you doing it? It's about leadership. So if I want to win games, I'm going to bring in people that can lead my team. And if my team is 80% black, I think it says a lot.
Yeah, but you also have to lead the whole building in order to be a head coach. You got to it's not just about leading guys in the uniforms. You got to also lead the guys in the suits that's walking around the building and all of those things. And we need more guys in the pipeline, you know. And there are some young guys that are in there, like Byron Leftwich, man. I think Byron Leftwich is going to be a great coach, and he's not at the place where he's getting interviewed yet. But I would like to see him at least start getting early looks at getting interviewed. I don't think they'll hire him right now because he's still.
Why not? Why not?
We
hired Freddie Kitchens. We hired Freddie Kitchens.
Yeah, but that was an isolated situation. Freddie Kitchens had a relationship with Baker Mayfield, and Baker Mayfield felt comfortable with him. So there's an isolated situation right there. You know, but
Thomas McGahee.
Like
Thomas McGahee.
No, but you know what? But that's an easy excuse to make because leadership should not be relegated to any given color. It's whether or not you have the skills to be able to do it. And let's be clear, because there's been a deep-seated mindset that leadership only speaks to one color versus another, and that's absolutely not the case. But, okay, go ahead, Phil.
Well, yeah, I just want to say, look, if you're a leader of men, you're a leader of men.
Period.
It doesn't matter who's out there. I mean, I never looked at our football team and go, oh, I can talk to this white guy and I can't talk. No, I never thought that. I'm the leader of the offense. By gosh, I don't care who you are. I treat you.
Leadership and intelligence is colorless, and it should be.
Yes, but the other thing is, too, I want to finish, though. Eric Bieniemy. Look, he's been out there with Andy Reid for years, and I'm not just saying this because it's the topic, and he's got to be. I watch him during the games. He's always talking. Andy Reid, I can see him talking, so he must know a lot about. And what are we trying to hire? Oh, the next offensive guru in the NFL. So he needs to be part of that discussion. Right. He really needs a real interview. I don't think I've ever looked at him being interviewed going, oh, he has a chance to get that job. I know he's the guy brought in to fill it. Byron Leftwich, he will get his chance. Yeah. They have success. He will be interviewed next year for a head coach. So the Rooney family did it right.
Absolutely.
They did it right. They wanted to, listen, was Mike Tomlin their first choice when they hired him? You know, I don't know that, but they knew it was best for the NFL and everything. So let's start incorporating black coaches and give them power positions. And they hired Mike Tomlin, and how's that worked out?
If
an explanation can be given for hiring somebody who maybe only has college experience and maybe wasn't a winner, then the same platform should be there, the same paradigm in making a decision for a player or a coach of color as well, too. Rule and Judge are in. The big reasons why they're in?
They're fresh faces. I think these are teams that wanted, as you said, leaders of men type, and they are both regarded that way as leaders of men type. Certainly, I think the big shocker was Joe Judge for the New York Giants, but he comes highly recommended by Bill Belichick. That carries an awful lot of weight. Special teams coach, this sort of harkens back to the John Harbaugh hiring in Baltimore.
Yeah, that's what everybody's thinking.
The Giants would take that kind of success if they can get it.
Judy, thank you very much for being honest. We know you've got a lot of years and your fingers on the pulse. The bottom line is at every position of an organization, all people want is to be sure that meritocracy is the operative word of the day. Hey, folks, that's it for us. Yeah, we still love each other, right? Thanks for watching. Enjoy your Divisional Round weekend, and we'll see you again next week right here on Showtime.
I love my white brother.